Hello guys, so I've decided to do another time-lapse commentary for another 3D art render so that you can look again at my workflow and so on and so forth. So I opened up WoW Model Viewer here and set up some meshes for the character, and this is the Cast Explorer. I'm trying to export each of the armor because I want to make it a little bit custom, and I'm still trying out some stuffs here, like because I'm still not sure at what I really want to use, and I ended up using like a ton of different gears. And yeah, right now it's looking for what I want, and here I'm converting everything and assembling it inside Photoshop and looking for more references. Now I want to change the tabard so that she's not wearing a horde tabard. Put a scalp, and I'm masking out everything so that I can edit it easier later when turning into PBR. Here I open up Gigapixel AI and Waifu to upscale it, and I'm looking for background characters, or not actually characters, just background models to accompany her. I want to go for dragon, and I'm struggling to find like a good looking dragon. Now I'm looking for the bookshelves and books, and yep. So I open up the model here, load the texture, and review the model again, like which one do I want to include and which one do I don't want to include. And I'm including Sorvang's shoulders and his headpiece, whatever that's called. I removed the paladin thing, and now I'm weight painting it, and it's a pretty simple weight painting. Put a subdivision and give her the buckle. So I'm setting up a simple rig, just enough so that I can pose her easier. And I'm starting to push here, putting the book on her hand. And yep, I'm going to put the wolf and the dragon. Again, I'm setting simple rigs to help me pose them easier. I want to make the wolf looks like he's sleeping while the character is leaning on him. And this is my first time posing a non-character, like posing creatures like this, so I'm finding quite a hard time. And here's me fixing the normal text of the dragon because the wings and all the thin stuffs are really messing up when you optimize it. And here I want to make the dragon like looking over her, that kind of thing. And yep. Now it's me trying to set up lighting, but actually I doesn't really found a good lighting here, and I ended up discarding it. Now I realized that I exported the wrong FBX file for the bookshelf, so I just re-exported back there. And here is me trying to do hair simulation, like to make a little bit more realistic hair. This is the first time I'm doing this, so it really just very experimental, and you will see me struggle a lot with this. Like, I think I've worked on this for 5 hours or so, I don't know, and I ended up recreating everything from scratch. Later on, you'll see. I load up my preset hair material. I always have that for just in case. And I'm putting a little bit of lighting so that I can see the hair better. And I'm setting different parts of the hair. So my Signal 4D is crashed, and yeah, it's kinda messy when you're working with realistic renders. As you can see, the hair is really not working well. And yeah, this I always set everything on this tab, so I can have a better control over it. You can actually see, like, on the right bottom corner of my computer there's a clock, and you can see how long do I spend just to style the hair, and it's simply not working. And I try to give it a dynamics so that it will simulate more naturally, but not really working for me. So I think at this part I decided to give up on the hair and try to do other stuffs. I open up my Substance Painter and Photoshop to start converting the materials to my usual retextures, and you can see masking here. This really takes a long time. And exporting only the body here so that I can ignore some parts because I will remove the dilatation. You'll see that later on once I'm done with masking this. You can see like I gave it the black parts. It's indicating that this part won't be included in the model, so I can't ignore that. It really helps me to speed up like which part do I need to mask and which part I can easily ignore just like that. See me deleting those cavities. Now, I'm not sure, but I accidentally make that guide over there, which it's totally unintentional and I don't know how to remove it because I never use it myself, and yeah, just let it be. Now it's a food. So now I realize that I forgot to export the mask for the legs, so I made it myself by extracting others. Now I'm trying a new method for retexturing. It's inspired by someone on the Render Society Discord. Like they give a solid color on the background and then just simply overlay the original texture to give it shape. Now I improvise from that. I put some PBR, not solids, like just PBR albedos or base color, what you call it, and overlaid with a high pass of the original texture, so I can have like an accurate values for the albedo, keeping the shapes and not having too much shadows. Just the eyes, I'm giving it more contrast on the inside so that it stays black instead of tinted. It's an error I made in my Anduin retexture where center of eyes is a bit bluish, and you can see me before like making a gradient. I decided that it's too much work, so I skip it over. And you can see me darkening his skin here. It's to create a height color, because the problem with Materialize, the software I'm using, is that it only exports in 8-bit, so I will need to make the height color, the base color, to create a correct height map before exporting a normal map, because if not, there will cause a banding. This is the metallic map. I decided to give a little bit of metallic on the painted metals, like 70%. I found it to be good. Smoothness, giving the normal map for the eye there. And then I import everything to Substance Painter. And here's me creating the displacement map in Shader Map Pro. And I gave her a physical accurate skin textures with pores and everything inside Substance Painter, because Substance Painter have that preset. You can just simply use it, export everything, and yep. Now I'm giving her a legacy texture, like the non-PBR stuffs, but I'm not using it for my art render this time. I'm just, for safekeeping, let's just make some. Now we go back to Cinema 4D here to test out the textures I've just made. And there's probably another pause of me leaving it to do something. Or actually, I really left my computer on this part. Should cut it in few minutes. And here's like the next day, I just open it up. And only then I open. And I'm sure opening some other textures parts, like the shoulders, the ones from Sarfang, correct the colors. I simply copy paste the PBR textures and reapply the masks. And I also fixed the posing a little bit back there, because I'm not really satisfied with the ones before. Playing around with the tail, fixing the dragon's pose, because it's ugly. Put the wings like she's sheltering the girl. And I give it light, like to create an illusion of the dragon providing light for the girl to read. Years back to another retexturing. So yeah, masking right here. Non-PBR textures. Now I only retexture that part because I found the buckle not really visible, and I'm not planning to use the sword, so I skip all of them. And here I'm trying to find a way to make the dragon a little bit good looking, but I failed, so I just used the original skin. So just applying the textures and everything. As you can see, that makes quite a bit difference. And I'm uppressing the others for the wolf and the dragon and the book and the bookshelves as well. And I'm masking out the eyes to give it a glow. Change the eyes on the wolf to a bit of greenish so that it kind of represents Tenochtitlan a bit. And I'm already getting really lazy, so I simply use a non-PBR stuffs and lazy hate making, like lazy normal map making. just enough to make it look good, but not really something that can be used over and over again. And I apply every one of them here. And messing up with the lightings. It's me trying to create a little bit of ghost effect, but I found that to be a little bit too bright, so I discarded it later. And yep, just crashed back then, so I had to open. And now I'm back on fixing the hair, because in between, like I rewatched the tutorials on Cinema 4D hair and found out that I did something wrong. That what makes my workflow a little bit broken, like hard to do. So as you can see it, I did it faster than before. Probably not really, but it's better. I'm still trying to use it to fill in some gaps that are left open. Now we're back to lighting, and I noticed that the eyes are a bit iffy. So I mess around with Gaussian spectrum, but didn't work well for me. Like Gaussian spectrum works sometimes, but sometimes it also doesn't work well. And I'm playing with the lighting and the bloom, but actually I forgot to check camera, so it messes quite a bit. And I'm importing some facial expressions. I'm a bit lazy, so I just use the preset expressions here, and you can see like it doesn't really work. I had to re-export a lot of times because I exported the wrong thing, like I exported the broken thing. I'm giving her eye an aim to make her look certain part. I'm finding another facial expression that I can use, copying it. And yep, it's more or less done. If I'm not mistaken, I'm messing with the noise, what you call it, threshold or something, so that it's not too noisy, but it renders fast. And that's done with the Cinema 4D. Now in the After Effects, I didn't speed it up as fast as in Cinema 4D because it ended up like only 10 minutes of doing it. I'm putting the denoiser here. Like I'm using Neat Video. It's a really good denoiser for me. I don't know if that suits you or not. And adding a little bit of noise for sharpness. And I'm trying to add more detail using unsharp mask, but I don't think that works really well. And here's me starting to color grade with Colorista, playing around with the colors of the lighting. Now the auto color balance didn't really work for me, so I messed it around with myself and ended up zeroing it out. And this is a little more adjustments here and there. Put a vignette, give a little bit of contrast, and trying out some LUTs, but not really working well. So yeah, I ended up not using any. And instead I use some external LUTs. It's a Shadow Fate. I quite like this LUT, especially if you're using a vignette. It gives a little bit of color. And yep, just putting a watermark, setting it to Divide to give it a cool effect. And that's mostly done. I'm just rendering it out. Give it a name, red. Yep. So that's more or less of how I do stuff like this. And this is what the end result. Just this kind of stuff. And I hope you enjoyed, and see you again next time. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. See you later.